But that's why marketing is so powerful, right? It's like, it's for this same reason.
It's making you think you want something that you don't actually want.
It's mind games, and I fall for it every single time.
And then look at how bad the auto industry tried to make the infrastructure car friendly. Like, that's another game.
Yeah. How so?
I don't know.
Well,
a Filipino-American nurse wins $41 million
Oh my
in
goodness.
a retaliation lawsuit against Kaiser Permanentes.
A retaliation
Kaiser
lawsuit.
temporaries.
Thank you. So,
Was she like, I'm telling you that Jollibee is the best, and then the Kaiser Permanente was like, KFC is way better.
Yeah.
And then she goes, nah.
No,
and then
no,
they
no.
fired her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of her discrimination against Jollibee.
Yeah.
This is a retaliation lawsuit. So they did something to wrong her, and she's like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, they fired her because she likes Jollibee.
Wrongful termination, yeah.
Retaliation lawsuit is not when someone sues you and you sue them back, right?
Nope.
That's a countersuit.
Oh, okay.
That's retaliating. It's like, oh yeah, you want to do that to
KFC's
me?
way better.
Yep.
Dang, 41 million is quite a bit. I wonder what it was.
Yeah, what was it?
So Kaiser says that she placed her bare feet on a medical device for sick or premature newborns.
Oh.
The defense said her conduct was unacceptable, especially as she was a charge nurse. Kaiser claimed to have lost confidence in her and made the decision to terminate her. Okay, so Kaiser is the defense, right? Because she's saying, hey, this is messed up. I want restitution.
So she was just being a regular Asian aunt, using her bare feet like it's her hands.
Picking stuff up.
You know, a lot of my jungle Asian friends, they use all four. You know what I'm saying? They don't just use hands, they use feet and hands.
Was she like, oh, that's just my culture. I like to do things in bare feet because Asians take their shoes off.
She did not. She said it was a safety issue. So check this out. So during the trial, witnesses supported claims of understaffing at the facility, right? Her lawyer argued that staffing issues in healthcare are linked to care quality, and the lawsuit said that Kaiser discouraged formal complaints using the standard procedure about patient safety and quality, aiming to avoid investigation.
That's what they do, though.
So she had the courage to be a whistleblower and speak up about patient safety, and Kaiser tried to silence her. And then the jury spoke in a loud and clear voice, telling Kaiser it needs to put patients above profits, awarding her compensation of $11.49 million in compensatory damages, $9 million for emotional distress, and $30 million in punitive damages.
Whenever you talk to someone that works in healthcare, especially in the past like 2-3 years, the biggest problem they say, understaffing.
Yeah.
Across the board. And they're like, we're getting way too much work. There's no way we could deal with this many patients and actually give the adequate care that they need. So therefore, like, we're all at a loss here. But then, like, the higher ups, they may not want to, like, they don't want to go through the process of hiring more people and going through all that shit.
They don't want to pay that many people.
They retaliate because she is trying to raise issues about what's going on at Kaiser, right?
Yeah.
And then they basically said, okay, you did a minor policy infraction, putting her bare feet on a medical device,
Right.
and we're going to terminate you.
We're going to get you. Yeah.
And so that's what she said,
And she likes Jollibee better than KFC.
and that's another part of the lawsuit.
That was part 2. Yeah.
That's actually the reason why she won.
Yeah.
But I have friends that have friends of friends in healthcare where they're understaffed and they're working overtime, and they try to tell you, like, don't do overtime, and then this girl will clock out to work after, and then that becomes an issue, and this is something that she continues to do, and they fired her for that.
What?
For working off of the clock?
Yeah.
Oh, because she's a liability.
Yeah, so it's like all this. So it's like, which one am I supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to get the work done? Am I supposed to write all this stuff out for the charts for my patients, or am I supposed to do overtime? So it's like this. It's this weird thing, and then if they fuck with you, if you don't like you, or if you kind of talk back to the higher ups, they might be like, fuck you, we're gonna fire your ass.
How about, like, they just teach us how to be healthy so we don't gotta go to the hospital?
Nobody want to hear all that, bro.
No, they won't make money, dude.
I mean, I'm just saying this now as a able-bodied young man, but I'm just saying, okay, aside from eating nutritious foods and in fitness to keep the, sicknesses away, like, why are there so many fucking people at the hospital? And I say this because, like, when you look at the top 5 causes of death, it's all Like it's all preventable, and it's habit. It's them. They did it.
It's all free shit. Like sleeping more, walking around more, getting more sunlight, drinking more water. It's
Working
all
out.
free
So it's like,
shit.
imagine if the hospitals didn't have all of that. So it's like diabetes, like people getting whatever, like all these complications. It's a lifestyle decision that got them there. And I'm like, how do we fucking solve that so then the hospital doesn't have that many people?
We vote
And
for
then-
RFK.
RFK?
That's what he's been talking about. Chronic
Dude,
disease.
I was just listening to an audiobook.
Tell me about that shit.
It's
man.
called Outlive. I'm not trying to promote it. I'm
Okay.
not being paid to promote it, but I just started listening to it as an audiobook, and it was talking about this exact same situation where the healthcare system is like, they would rather do certain things that's fucked up to the patient so they could avoid lawsuits like this. Because they lose way more money if, you know, whatever. But then in this case, she won, which is really good for that. But there's this doctor that basically was tired of how like his superior kept saying, don't do this, even though this is better for the patient. They're like, oh, but we want to go by the rules and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, because they're afraid of being sued too.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I would say in the hospital's defense, a lot of them get taken down because of lawsuits, right? So like they have to kind of think of lawsuits first because they're like, well, how the fuck am I gonna continue this hospital? then?
Which sucks because it should be, no, you should think about how to best take care of the patient first, right? But then that nobody likes
that should be, but what if
Unsexy choice.
So here's my counterpoint. Is like that should be right. What if that was the policy, and then they get sued up the ass, they lose all this money. Now they go, we got to be compliant all the time and put compliance first, and then.
Yes.
You know, like it to me, it's not just one way, one bad guy. It's like they're reacting to each other.
Microcosm time. I know somebody who works in veterinary care, and they recently had their vet office bought by a corporation. So it was like a mom and pop vet shop that slowly grew, and then they got bought by a corporation. The two people who led the thing go vacation in Bermuda forever, and then everyone's left with the consequences of now the corporate environment coming in and trying to maximize profits and every single dime getting squeezed. Yeah. So now they fire a bunch of vet techs, right? They put a lot of the pressure on the veterinarians, and then they try to even squeeze that down even more. So like this person can't, they have patients, right? So it's like a cat or dog or fucking cockatoo, and you know what's going on with your patient, right? But they don't let you work on your patient consistently. They consistently have you shuffle the paperwork to somebody else so they don't have to pay you overtime.
Wow.
Damn.
It's all fucking racket, man.
That's it, dude. And it's just about squeezing every ring you can.
Yeah.
And it's not about the customer anymore. It's about maximizing profits, and that's the corporate environment.
Yeah, but you know what I believe, like, is the solution, like you were talking about earlier, is like, how do you change your own lifestyle so that you avoid having to end up in places like this in the first place? And it's always exercise, diet, whatever, lifestyle.
Wellness.
You know, exactly. But then you can't sell that really because it's...
I can. I saw that. I saw that on my website, ntetraining.com.
He literally sells it.
Yeah, like I think like the number one cause of death for men is heart diseases, like
Yeah, stress.
cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, overweight, cancer. But a lot of those things are triggered by like poor life choices.
And it's stuff that can be easily reversed because it spans over a long time period. You can start changing it now.
If you do a little every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if the government did a massive campaign to promote this ideal, what makes people change their habits? You know.
That's the tough part, man.
That's
You
the
wanna
shit gotta
live.
work with.
What about marketing?
But what if they straight up told you, like, hey, yeah, we fucked up, pyramids bullshit, all this stuff's bullshit. People for a day might be like, I told you, and then just keep eating whatever's
Like, how do we make people like hard
People
work?
are already starting to change that and starting to go against the food pyramid or whatever. There's already a bunch of like people that believe that, oh, this is, you know, the right way for health. Or
It's
whatever.
small. Look,
Yeah.
here, check this out, right? So this recently was uncovered. The sugar industry basically gaslit everybody, paid for a marketing campaign that basically said that, hey, guess what? They did all these studies too, like, hey, all this meat is really bad for you. It's like going to give you heart disease and kill you.
Yeah.
But what they determined later is actually it was all the sugar and shit giving you that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they do. They're so good at it.
It's like the cereal thing.
So you're saying Cheerios aren't good for your heart?
Well, no, they had a whole thing where they stopped making cereal be marketed in that way.
Right.
And what's crazy, it's like just to play devil's advocate, like if there's big food, right? We also all know, and on every single nutrition fact that tells you like the daily average is like 2,200 calories or something like that. So we all know if you eat more than 2,200 calories, you're gonna gain weight. So it's like there is a technically Surgeon General's warning on everything, but we don't follow it.
Well,
So
they have
how
nothing to
do-
compare it to. They like most people when you talk to them like for nutrition stuff, like they get calories, but it's just like some abstract fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And like so for them to actually put it into effect in their day to day, like it is kind of a barrier for a lot of people.
It is.
Because they don't teach you shit in school, bro.
Yeah.
They should be teaching you about like macronutrients in school.
Well, I mean, they did teach us about the food pyramid, and a lot of us followed it and got fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's like there were things in the past where I think they tried, and then it got infiltrated by companies that wanted to sell, and then it got fucked up, you know?
I think they need to make it more straight up, like starting. It's hard to like. Let's say we were like, fuck the current adults. In schools now, just be straight up. You eat this, you're gonna be fat and die early.
Yeah.
If you eat this, you're gonna be healthy, and then make PE really hard across the board.
Dude, you know where it's at?
Make it really hard.
I think Nick's gotta become a TikTok influencer and like tell the people the truth and then go viral and then the younger generation.
There's a ton of those though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but Nick's gotta do it.
But the thing about that shit though, especially in the health space, is like everyone has that in their own category. Like carnivore guys have it, keto guys have it. Like so, and then the normal consumers like, well, who the fuck do I listen to?
So given now that we have so much proof and so much data that the food industry does all these different tricks to try to get us to consume more harmful stuff, do I sound like a conspiracy theorist when I say that there's got to be some connection between the food they're marketing out and the championing of obese people?
No more fat shaming.
But I think it's like a feelings thing, no?
Yeah, but is that in a way, like, you know, people would go, well, what do they have to gain by making us love being fat?
Yeah, like here, eat.
That's one.
Here, eat more sugar. And they're like, well, I don't want to be fat, but look, your favorite singer's fat though.
And also too,
So it's okay.
So
They're like,
as
oh,
people,
sure, I'll eat more sugar.
as people have more health problems, they have to lean on our healthcare system.
Yeah.
And our healthcare system, like it seems like the hospitals are like against the insurance companies and vice versa. They're battling each other.
Yeah.
And then the hospitals are also like battling against like their patients in a way.
Right.
Right. So it's like they're trying to constantly push like, oh well, you need this, like you need.
Dude, that's why you need fat shamers, right, Nick? Is that what you're saying?
Well, look, kinda. Like if we're gonna keep it a buck, like
I honestly think so. I think so, dude.
But
but you know
like
what
say,
I mean.
hey, you're
Yeah.
a fat bitch or whatever.
the
Like, be
science
really
of data
straight
is
up,
out,
right?
It's like it doesn't really.
Fat roasters.
I could kind of think of one example of something that lost. So big tobacco kind of lost. Like it used to be pretty common, but through the sheer
It's
powers
smaller,
of
yeah.
people, like they didn't have to fight and say you
Vaping
can't do
came up.
tobacco ads. They didn't have to say you can't have that in films and whatever, you know. And then they banned it in schools. They banned it in dining places and whatever. And it kind of became the social stigma if you're still a smoker. Yeah. And we saw that happen within our lifetime when maybe our brothers or parents' generation, you were able to smoke cigarettes at school. And then so if this was possible, then maybe in the food industry it can be possible too. I just don't know how.
But look at tobacco though, right? They did a pivot. What's the pivot? Vaping. People are vaping way more. They're vaping. It's way more accessible, and we still don't really know how dangerous it is.
Right,
yet.
right. And to me, that's harmful, not knowing.
Yeah, because we'll see what happens. But the way you see some I don't know if you have buddies that smoke vapes. These motherfuckers are sucking it down every.
Yeah, and they're like, oh my god, where's my, they're always like,
bro,
fucking, where's
even
it?
for me, I was using a marijuana vape for a little bit, and then you kind of get in the habit of
It's your pacifier.
yeah, and then you just fucking hitting it all day, and then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck am I doing to my body, bro? Why do I have to have this need of oh, where's my vape? Where's my vape?
Yeah, there's such a chicken of the egg factor where it's like when people are like, oh, but the public wants more of this sugar, or they want more of this meat. But I think evidence has shown us that when there's a projected prediction, let's say that they made too much fucking bacon or whatever. Yeah. and then your state, whatever your state makes, whether it's potatoes, fucking poultry, whatever they have too much of, a surplus, they're gonna market the shit out of that year. Yeah. So then it's like, if the more people don't want something, then the lesser they keep doing their projected prediction, then maybe we can finally over time get to a point where there's less of that thing. They don't have to power market it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like milk. It's like we had to fucking drink so much goddamn milk because they had too many fucking cows.
Yep.
Dude, now nobody drinks milk. Everybody wants oat milk. Fucking.
But then it goes like this. It's like, oh, demand, supply, demand, supply, demand, supply. But it'll never go demand.
Yeah, if it doesn't make
supply,
any
you know?
money,
It's like,
they're
yeah.
not gonna keep producing
Right,
it.
but it'll be slow
Yeah.
because they have to keep like kind of gauging it and then going lesser and lesser.
We're all sucking on the teat, dude.
The cow's teat.
The cow teat, the nicotine teat, the fucking
Dude, it's always a teat.
caffeine. You know what I mean? We're all on it.
But it's the same way you could look at car markets in the exact same way. You're being marketed these specific cars because that's what we fucking make.
I don't want a fucking Isuzu anymore.
But that's why marketing. But that's why marketing is so powerful, right? It's like it's for this same reason.
It's making you think you want something that you don't actually want.
It's mind games, and I fucking fall for it every single
And then
time.
look at how bad the auto industry tried to make the fucking infrastructure car friendly. Like that's another game.
How so?
I don't know.
Well, for
It's like another can of worms.
Let's just keep it going. Make it an OTR topic. Might as well.
Fucked public transportation.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this is a conspiracy theory during the time that it was happening that became true, and it's in our good old city, Los Angeles. You can look this up.
Okay.
But back in the day, LA had a ton of trolley streetcars.
Okay.
You know, like the one that you see in Mr. Rogers and all that, and the ones in San Francisco. They said that this was the place where you can go from anywhere. You have your own Victorian home, and there's gonna be a streetcar, because that's what they call those trolleys, a streetcar in every city. And they had a grid. It came all the way from downtown to Santa Monica Pier. You could ride that for like 5 cents. So it was like this accessible public thing, right?
You still see the rails on the ground
Still see
today.
it. So what the automobile industry did was they created all these shell corps, like fake corporations, and they said, oh, we're gonna buy these, we're gonna privatize it, and then we're gonna get into the industry. But what they ended up doing was they bought it and they defunct it.
Damn.
And so now there's no streetcars, right? And then they just started pumping autos, like, you know, and selling those
Widening
all over
roads.
Because they saw the future of LA
Feeding
and California.
sidewalks,
They're
yeah.
like, this is a wide state that needs road. Yeah.
Driving culture.
Exactly. And then they colluded with the government, and then you know how all of the military like highway, you know, the highways that we have, the interstates, that was for military logistics. But also the car industry pushed the government to do it so then they can make this like whole nationwide driving thing.
I did not know about this. That's awesome.
But it's pretty wild, right? Because it's like that's how you become hella rich. Is like,
But it makes sense though, right? Like you could be like, oh, I could totally see a bunch of people colluding to do that.
Yeah.
Right? That's the most realistic.
Food isn't just, oh, eat this bacon. It's not just that. It's like you have to. Because there's 50 things around you that are telling you that's all we've got. That's the cheapest thing, supply and demand. We made too much of it. You
and
know,
I love bacon
and we predicted you would eat this much bacon for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
So you have to eat it. It's bigger than just like, do I want
And it's like, oh, your bacon is selling really well. Let's keep pumping it.
but don't you eat it and go, I hate how right you are and how delicious this motherfucker is.
But that's where government and corporations should not get to commingle, because you had this corporation come in, buy this trolley system, and then screw over everybody in California.
But the deals are too good.
That's where I think that we're now being lobbied. I mean, we always have, but it's more clear now that we're being lobbied into the social sentiment of like, oh, the last ditch effort is like, we're all fat and dying, help us. No, you're not fat and dying, you're fine. You're
beautiful just the way you
That's where it
are.
gets really fucking scary. Because that was supposed to be the only thing you could.
And then you know what's crazy? It's like tag team wrestling because they have that, right? No, you're beautiful, you're fat the way you are, whatever. And then now it's like, oh, you know what? Big Pharma jump in. Oh, we got Ozempic. You want to lose weight? Take this thing. So it's just like one homie tagging in another homie, tagging another homie, and then now you go down the whole chain and you're spending money all the way across the board.
I think the fucked up thing here is that like people think the solution is like government or the other side is private sector, right? And for me, the solution is stopping the corruption. Cause like you can't look at it as like just business and billionaires are the corrupt ones. You can't look at it as like government is the stupid corrupt one. Like they're working together for this whole system to happen. They both need to work together to make it happen. And I'm like, how come people can't see that? How come they think about it as like, oh, the Democrats were the good guys, or like the Republicans were the good guys? And it's like, are you fucking stupid?
Dude.
No.
Yeah.
Everyone's working together to make the collusion happen. And I'm like,
The good guys are being sued out of existence and destroyed.
Like the documentary about who killed the electric car. Like we could have had electric cars way the fucking long time ago. We could have had hydrogen powered cars. We could have had all kinds of different alternative vehicles, and they just get killed off one after another.
People can't make money off of it.
Well, yeah, because you're not gonna challenge these dudes.
Yeah, you're threatening a whole ecosystem.
That's why I don't entirely blame anyone who's fat that's their fault. Like there's a whole infrastructure around them that's validating exactly what they're doing and just saying, shh, just keep doing it, just keep doing it.
Yeah, fat means you're happy.
It's not completely on you. It's like you can make the choice, but it makes it very hard to make that choice. Yeah.
But go to ndtraining.com.
Yo, Nick, you're saving the generations to come.
I try, man. We try.
Back in the day,
Much as we can.
if you're fat, everyone's like, dude, that guy's fucking rich.
that's true.
In the Philippines, it's still true. Bring back graceful bullying. The end.
Just Kidding News, careful boys, is a brand. Just Kidding News is the man of smart people. The people of Just Kidding News, careful boys, they are very smart. Just Kidding News, the #1 foodcast in the world.